Welcome to the Self-Made Babe Instagram live and podcast episode. Today's podcast episode is going to be a special one because we have our guest, Amy Porterfield. And in today's Instagram live, Amy will be teaching you to create a successful brand and digital course business. So I'm really excited to have you on. Hello, Amy. Welcome to the
Hello.
Self-Made Babe community.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of the community today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to learn from you. I'm sure a lot of women are excited to learn from you today with all the value that you have. But just to give you a brief and formal introduction, our guest today is Amy Porterfield. Amy teaches business owners, educators, and entrepreneurs the profitable action steps for building a highly engaged email list, creating online training courses, and using online marketing strategies to sell with ease. Through her best-selling marketing courses, List Builder Society and Digital Course Academy, thriving Facebook community, and top-ranked podcast, she is able to inspire and educate entrepreneurs in the making with her expertise in online marketing.
Thanks so much for a great intro. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course. I'm glad to have you on here. Thank you for hopping on. And I can't wait to dive into your main tips for creating a successful brand.
Yes. You want me to just get right to it?
Yes, so you're the star of the show today. Introduce yourself. Well, I already did that for you, but feel free to talk about what makes Amy Amy.
Well, I've been at this for about 11 years. I left corporate 11 years ago to start my own online marketing business. I thought I would create digital courses right from the get-go, but I didn't know how to create digital courses. And so I started doing social media for other people. And so I got a lot of clients, and I often joke that I used to have one boss, then I had like 8 bosses when I started consulting and doing social media because I never knew how to set boundaries. And
Right.
so I hated doing all that one-on-one work. It just wasn't a good fit for me. And so about 2 years into it, I'm like, I just created a business I hate, so I better change this up. And that's when I started to move into digital courses.
You know what's funny? It's because I kind of feel like I'm in that position right now. And not that I'm building a business I hate, but I'm definitely feeling the same emotions in terms of not taking this in the direction that I want to take it in. So now it's all about pivoting, and just your story spoke to me so much because I'm there and I can't wait in a few years where life will take
Yes.
this.
And I love your vulnerability and saying like, I'm there now. I think that's really normal. We're in a time where everything's weird and changing and kind of crazy. And I think a lot of people are reevaluating, do I want to be in this 9-to-5 job? Or
Right.
maybe have a side hustle. Do I want this to be my full-time thing? Or do I want to do something dramatically different than I've been doing? There's never been a better time than right now to change course. Pivoting
Definitely.
is totally what you should be doing right now if you feel it.
Definitely. So, what are your 3 main tips on creating a successful brand for
Yes.
everyone listening?
My 3 main tips would be number 1, get really clear on your expertise, where you offer the most value. So I always say when I teach my students how to create digital courses, where have you gotten results for yourself or for somebody else? Because no matter if you're going to create a digital course or something totally different, get really clear on where you can offer the most value and get people results. That's number 1. Number 2 is to get really clear on who you want to serve. Now, if you want to serve all women, you're going to get lost in the sea of noise online. But if you want to serve women who have toddlers and you want to help those toddlers sleep through the night, now you're getting more specific. Like I have one of my students and she helps only female physicians to build wealth and to invest. So she's an expert in building wealth and investing, but she used to be a dermatologist. So she's like, I can
I love
speak to,
that.
right? So I can speak to female physicians. I know how much money they're making, what they're struggling with, what they want. So she only serves busy female physicians. I love getting really specific there. So that's number 2, niche yourself, find your specific audience. And then number 3 is make sure you know what lights you up. So you could make tons of money doing something that totally bores you, that you get up in the morning and you're like, here I go again. I'm good at it, but it doesn't light me up. But if you can find that sweet spot between what you love to do and know who you serve and something that you're really good at, you found that golden sweet spot that is perfect for you. So sometimes it takes us years to find, though. It took me about 2 years to really dial it in. So have a little grace with yourself.
I love those tips because everyone listening, everyone paying attention, make sure to write those tips down, grab a pen and paper because these are tips that you're getting straight from Amy herself. Now, I have another question for you because
Okay.
you have a dedicated course called Digital Course Academy for online entrepreneurs, and you've been able to grow your brand quite quickly yourself. So, what do you see as the biggest mistake people make when they're trying to scale their brand through offering online courses?
So I think it's so common, and something I did was making it way too complicated in the beginning. And so when I teach people how to grow a brand or how to grow a digital course, I always say, let's keep it as simple as possible. If you're going to create a digital course, you don't need a fancy microphone, although I love yours. You don't need a fancy camera. Here we are on smartphones making it work. And you definitely don't need to put a bunch of money into creating, let's say, your first digital course. Keep it as simple as you can. When I first created my first few digital courses that led to a multi-million-dollar business, I never even was on camera. It was all slides and audio, and that worked for me. So I think my best advice is don't overcomplicate it. Don't add layers and layers and layers of things you have to do. Just do the bare minimum that will get the biggest results for your clients. And here's one more thing. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing. Where I got stuck in the beginning is I would look at someone's front end of their business and compare it to the back end of mine because I don't know what the back end looks like.
Right.
So I would say, oh, it looks so nice and shiny and beautiful, their business. Mine feels like a hot mess back here. It's not a fair comparison. I had to stop comparing myself to everyone else.
Definitely. And I feel like a lot of people don't take into consideration the actual burn rate of those businesses. So,
Yeah.
yes, they can be making or seem successful on the front end, but they're probably spending a lot more than they should.
Yeah, you
So,
never know.
so you never know. And I definitely do believe that comparison is the thief of joy. So,
Yes.
regarding since you pivoted from creating the wrong business in the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey, now you have created a digital resource for your audience that's called the Ultimate Course Creation Starter Kit. So for people who are just getting into creating a course for their business through the gram, can you talk about how it can help?
Yeah, so I created the Course Creation Starter Kit to help anybody who's thinking about creating a digital course and you have like no idea how you'd even get started, or if you even have what it takes to make it work. So in the Course Creation Starter Kit, you'll learn how to choose your course topic, your course title, and then there are 3 types of profitable digital courses: a starter course, a spotlight course, and a signature course. You can read about each of them. I've included examples from my students who have created those types of courses, and then you can decide what type of course you want to create. Once you know what type of course you want to create, then things start to fall into place. But you start with the starter kit, totally free, and it's really easy to get going.
I love that. I love that. So I will definitely be linking that in the IGTV video so that people can access it. And people can go on to amyporterfield.com to find that freebie. So how much of a role does email marketing play in your business? I know you have a lot of podcast episodes hyping up email marketing, and I do agree that I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on email marketing. So I want to know how you feel about it.
I feel like it's one of the most important things you should do in your business. And here's 2 things I'll tell you. I waited about 2 years before I ever even started to focus on growing my email list. So when I launched my first course, I launched it to crickets because I didn't have an email list. And if I would have just started, that's my advice to anyone listening, just start right now. Start growing your email list. 11 years in, I'm 11 years in, and I still focus on growing my email list. Now it's more automatic. It's easier for me now, but it's still a huge focus. So I think everybody should have a lead magnet. One lead magnet is fine. Something of value, something that people would maybe even pay for if you sold it, but you're giving it away for free. And you talk about it on IGTV, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, wherever you spend your time, you talk about that freebie over and over and over again. Marketing 101, you have to talk about your freebie or your course more than once for people to actually take you up on it. So one freebie, and I want you talking about it a lot.
I love that. So, another question is because one element of the Amy Porterfield community is your Facebook group.
Yeah.
What is the biggest benefit that you've seen this group provide, whether it be financially or for the people inside as well?
Yeah, so I've done Facebook groups on the back end of my courses for years and years. And I think the best thing that comes out of these Facebook groups is accountability for the student. But let me tell you how that benefits me. So it will keep my students accountable. They have other people to help them troubleshoot, and I'm in the group, so I help them as well. So it helps them get to the finish line. When they get to the finish line, they share their success secrets with me. And I've got over 200 success stories on one page talking about what people have done with digital courses. But they all came from that group because I have a relationship with them, so they want to share their stories. No matter if you're marketing a digital course or a physical product or a group coaching or one-on-one consulting, you need testimonials. And one of the ways to get testimonials is to have a Facebook group that you foster and you create the relationship. They're more likely to get to the finish line of your course and share their story with you.
Definitely. And one tip that I always tell people that are starting out, because when you're first starting out, you don't have testimonials.
Right.
So I always say to be your own success story. And I guess that's part of like the self-made babe tagline is to make sure that you can at least produce results for yourself, because either way, this information that you're going to give to your audience, to your students or your future clients, they can find it for free online.
Yes.
But the magic marker, the magician that the course creator becomes is by paving the way and making it easier for them. So, as an online business educator yourself, what do you see most frequently as an area where people get stuck?
Yeah, so I think there's two things. There's this mindset part where they think I'm not expert enough. I don't know enough. And you just hit it on the head. I always tell my future course creators to create a course, all you need to have done is gotten results for yourself or for somebody else. And so if you got results for yourself or somebody else, you can then teach that roadmap, that success path inside of a digital course. You just need a 10% edge. So where people get stuck is saying, I'm not expert enough. I don't have a college degree or I don't have years of experience. You just need that 10% edge where you're 10% ahead of those that you serve and you've gotten results for yourself or somebody else so you can prove that it works. So that's one area. And then I think, strategically, tangibly, where people get stuck is the technology, thinking that they have to have fancy technology or the technology will be too hard or it's too complicated. And I believe that I've built a multi-million-dollar business on simplicity. I think you just need one course to be profitable. And I don't think you need a lot of bells and whistles in your marketing in order to see a profit. So with online marketing, you can keep it simple and still be really profitable.
Definitely. And with online marketing, have you dived into Pinterest marketing yourself, or do you just stick to Facebook ads? Because I've seen your ads on Facebook, but I'm curious if you have used Pinterest yourself
Yeah,
and
so
your
we
thoughts.
just a few months ago started to dive deep into Pinterest, and we've been doing tons of different pins. We haven't ran ads yet. I'm excited for that next phase. We believe Pinterest marketing is incredibly powerful. Would you agree?
Yes, I think a lot of people are not up to date with Pinterest. I feel
Yeah.
like people don't see as Pinterest as a powerful platform, especially since you can promote yourself for free as well. Like you can pay for the ads, but the algorithm does such a great job at pushing your own content and whatever you want to push out, whether it be a freebie or a blog post or even a podcast episode,
Yeah,
that you can still benefit from it.
totally agree. I think it's a great, powerful tool.
Definitely. And another question that I have for you is when you are thinking about launching a course, do you normally just stick to the two courses that you have, which is the ultimate, um,
I have a
what?
list building course, and then I have a digital,
Yes.
how to create a digital course. So I believe that you want to keep your offerings minimal. I don't think you want 10 different things that you can offer,
Mm.
because as a marketer, as a business owner, then you got to figure out all the different funnels and different ways to market it and who's right for this one and who's right for that one. So my motto is always to be as simple as possible. So yeah, to say that I've built a multi-million-dollar business with 2 digital courses and then 1 membership that you can only get in if you went through one of my digital courses, to me, that's keeping it as simple as possible. So I don't think you need a bunch of courses or offers to be profitable in your business. Simplicity is most important.
Definitely. I love that you say that because I feel like a lot of online coaches in the space right now are pumping out many different courses to, add um, add exclusivity to each specific round. So I'm curious to know about your thoughts on that because you say that simplicity is the best route and it's what has propelled you into this $1 million business. But what do you think of other people wanting to dive into different areas of their zone of genius because they feel multi-passionate or because they see other people doing it?
So you make a great point. If you feel multi-passionate, I'm a little bit biased and I'm also old school. I've been around in this industry for a long time. If you feel multi-passionate, I'd rather you have a lot of passions and hobbies that you just enjoy and don't profit from. And then you have 1 or 2 things that you really become known for. You stay in your lane and you market them over and over and over again and you become better and better. There's a reason why when people, if you know me, you know that I teach digital courses. You know that I teach list building because I've stayed in my lane for so long. I am known for something. There is really a lot of profit in being known for something specific. Do I have other passions? I do. And those are hobbies, but I don't try to make money with them. That's where I come from. Now, I also think there's nothing wrong with a few different streams of revenue. And if you want a few different ways you make money, by all means, go for it. Some of my friends and peers in the industry have digital courses and then they've created, let's say, a journal or a planner to go with those digital courses, a physical product and a digital product. I love mixing things up like that.
I love that you mentioned mixing a physical product and a digital product because with the physical product, I mean, that can also be sold separately,
Yeah,
but it just adds more to the experience that you add to your digital course.
right.
And it's a tangible experience too. It's something that they can like take home and
Yeah.
think, "Wow, Amy sent this to me directly."
Yeah, for sure. I'm really good friends with Rachel Hollis, and we got to spend some time together. And she was talking a lot about physical products add so much value to your audience and really add to the bottom line as well. And I always like to take advice from people that are farther along than me, doing bigger things than me, and watching what they're doing. I think that's one of the entrepreneurial lessons I've learned along the way. So when she said that, I thought, I'm going to pay attention to that because she does very well in the physical product world. So something to think about.
Right. Well, thank you, Amy, for hopping on. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them down below. But now I just want you to just continue the conversation by sharing more about your Digital Course Academy.
Oh, well, thank you so much. So Digital Course Academy helps you create a digital course from scratch, how to create it and how to launch it. So step by step by step, how to do email marketing and webinars and social media to promote the course, and how to put together a course outline and how to record it and how to put it in a members area. Everything you need to know. It's coming out on September 9th. So I appreciate you asking. And I think the best place to start is with that starter kit.
Definitely. So that will also be linked in this IGTV video, and you can find that on Amy's website and get a direct link to that
Thank
freebie,
you.
that bomb freebie. Now, there's actually someone who asked, when are you going to publish a book? Is that something that's in the works?
It is something that we've been talking about for a long time. So I think 2021 is our year to get the book written. So we've got some ideas for it. So thank you for asking and for the encouragement. It's coming.
I love that. And there's another person who asked, would love to know your thoughts, Amy, on collabing with others.
So I love it. So when I think about collabing with others, I think about affiliate marketing. So Marie Forleo is a dear friend of mine, and for 8 years, I promoted B School for her. And so I would promote it. I'd get 50% of the profit if someone were to buy from me. I'd put together bonuses in case for those who did buy through me. And I love that exchange. Other people promote Digital Course Academy for me as well. So I think having that opportunity to either promote somebody else's course, like that you would never create on your own anyway, or other people creating yours, it allows you to really grow your audience. I think one of the ways I've grown such a big audience so fast is that I have collaborated with other people that have products that are aligned with my brand. So I'll tell you, the last thing I'll say about that is whoever you collaborate with, make sure they're fully in alignment with what you stand for, what your brand's about, so it feels really good and in integrity.
Definitely. And especially now, I've noticed that the cancel culture is very prevalent.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that you're associating yourself with people that truly align with your values, especially with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and the whole human trafficking scandals. Like there's so many things that are very contradictory. So it's very important to make sure that your ethics and your values truly align with whoever you're collaborating with,
I
because that can
agree.
dampen your brand, and it can dampen your own marketing tactics as well.
For sure. Definitely agree with you.
And another question that someone has is, which is the best way to increase followers? But I guess we should change it more into what is the best way to increase your email list, since you're an expert in email list building and
Right.
also preparing your email list for your digital course.
Yeah. So one of the best ways to grow your email list, which subsequently will grow your audience in general, is to find a way that every single week you are talking about an opportunity for people to join your email list. I don't think it's enough to say, I've got an email newsletter, join that. It's not sexy to join an email newsletter.
Right.
However, if you've got something of great value, like I have the starter kit, people would pay for the starter kit, but I give it away for free. And that's what you want to create, something that people will pay for. And again, you talk about it whenever and wherever you can. I think that's probably the most important way to grow your email list.
And in order to prepare for your digital course,
Yes.
you always need to make sure that you nurture your audience in that email list as well.
For
Because
sure. So I believe that you should email your list every single week. And my students will say, but Amy, what am I emailing them? And I say, well, in an ideal world, you are blogging every week or podcasting every week or doing a video every week. And you can link to that and say, I've got something new for you. So list building is twofold. Number one, you invite people to join your list. Number two, you're nurturing the list you already have. And some people will say, Amy, I only have 200 people on my email list. And I always say, okay, let's invite all 200 people to your house. Let's get them in your kitchen and let's give them a cup of coffee. And they're like, I can't, that's too many people. Oh, it feels like a lot of people because I thought you just said it's not a lot. These are human beings. Let's treat everyone as they're special.
definitely. And that's something that I feel like a lot of online business owners are missing, and even influencers nowadays, is that there's no connection being built. And if you don't have that connection when you're first starting out, if you're not actively building on that connection, no one is going to feel aligned with your brand. They're not going to want to become a brand ambassador because there's no connection. They don't have the know, like, trust factor down
Right.
packed just yet.
So true. Very true.
Yes. And also, another question that I have for you is, you struggled in the beginning finding the confidence when you were in your entrepreneurial journey. So I'm curious to know how this pivoted you into the Amy today, and what was the 180 transformation that had to happen?
So I always say that when I started out, I had to pull from courage versus confidence. And here's what I mean. Courage to me is taking that leap and having the faith no matter what. You don't have any track record, you haven't made any sales yet, but you want it bad enough that you're just going to muster up as much courage as you can to do the thing you want to do. But after a little time, whether it be months or years that go by, and you start to get results and people start to buy what you're selling and you start to build your community, that courage turns to confidence. So confidence is, hey, I got some success under my belt. I know it's worked before. I can make it work again. So I started with courage. And I remember doing my first webinar. I had no idea what I was doing. My hands were shaking. My voice was a little crackly, but I did it anyway. By my third webinar, when I started to make sales, I felt a little more confident. I was steady on my feet when I got into my third one. I think it takes courage first, confidence next.
Definitely. And I think one of the biggest mindset blocks that a lot of people have is when they're first starting out, they experience imposter syndrome, they
Yeah.
experience the many different fears of failure, the fear of success, the fear of people judging them. So when you were first starting out, what fear did you have? Did you have the fear of succeeding? Did you have the fear of failing? Did you have the fear of being a fraud?
I had the fear of putting myself out there. I had the fear of what would other people think. So I feared what would my friends think, what would my old coworkers think, my old bosses, what would they think? And then my husband one day very affectionately said, babe, they're not thinking of you. They're thinking of themselves. It's human nature that we focus more on ourselves than other people. They don't care what you're doing. So either you just go out and do it and be you, or your whole life just fearful of what other people think and they're not paying the bills. My friend
Right.
always says, if you're not paying my rent, then I don't need your opinion. And I think that's important. People will have opinions about me. People will say things about me that will hurt my feelings. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they say. It matters what I feel about myself. And I just keep showing up every day, no matter what. So that's where I come from with that.
Definitely. And another thing that I do notice is that, I feel like there's a lot of people that take so many courses, but in reality, the big gap that's missing is that they don't have the grit or the stamina to succeed or to continuously show up, and they feel like they need to invest in these different courses to become successful, when in reality it's a mindset block. So how can you help those people that, or how can you help people identify that mindset block? Because what if they already have it in them, they already have the potential, but it's just actually going out and doing it?
I think you just hit it on the head. I think we all have exactly what we need in us already in order to be successful. And I think where the strategy that needs to take place is you need to stop learning, just dive in there and start doing it. And Seth Godin, one a guy I really admire, he always says, ship it. You get it out there. The first iteration is always the worst. My first digital course is cringeworthy, but then my second was better and my third was even better. So it's the difference where you stand out from the crowd and where you actually beat out your competition, and how you're here 11 years later like I am, is that you're willing to make that really crappy first draft in order to get to where you want to go. It's getting into motion. And if you get into motion, you will get more clarity. So motion creates clarity. And if you're confused, overwhelmed, not sure what to do, start doing something and clarity comes from that. I think that's what's most important to remember.
Definitely. And it goes back to like the having the courage over the confidence. It's just you need
Yeah,
to have the courage to continuously show up to tap into your potential.
yeah, for
I,
sure.
I love that. Well, those are all the questions I had for you today. I loved learning from you. I loved having you on the Self-Made Babe community, on the Instagram Live, and hopefully the podcast episode as well. Now, one last question that I always ask self-made babes is, what is one thing that you're proud of but haven't been given the excuse to talk about just yet?
Oh, what am I most proud of? I think My ability to love myself. I've always struggled with my weight and I've always been self-conscious on camera. And over the last few years, I've really just said, this is ridiculous. I'm going to love myself no matter what, accept myself, show my thighs on camera. Forever, I wouldn't even do a full-length video. Now I just embrace it. And I'm proud of that. And it allows me to show up more authentic in my brand as well. So that's something I'm most proud of.
I love that. Well, thank you, Amy, for everything that you have shared with us. Thank you for being a part of the Self-Made Babe community now. And as a farewell, would you like to add anything regarding your digital course, academy,
I
and your masterclass?
Yeah, we have a masterclass coming up, and the starter kit is one place to start. I've got a live masterclass next week, how to create and launch a profitable digital course from scratch, and I'm sure you could give a link to that. I appreciate you asking. I think just even exploring the idea, because I'll leave you with this. No matter if you teach people how to do yoga or how to get your toddler to sleep through the night or how to pass your bar exam or any different topic that you teach, that part isn't the most important. It's your ability to believe in yourself and knowing that you have a digital course in you. And even if it's been done before, you're going to do it in a way that is unique to you. I believe
Definitely.
everybody has a digital course in them. So I hope you all will explore that. And I've got a lot of free resources to help you do so.
Thank you, Amy. I love that. It doesn't matter if you're a dermatologist, like like
Yeah.
Amy's own student, you can start your own course as long as you're 10% ahead of
Yes.
everyone else.
So
So
true.
thank you, Amy. Have a good day, and I will see you around.
Thank you. Take care. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.